What's going on, guys? So we got Perth Pro Players team member Chris Wright here, who came third place over the weekend on the Oceania Regionals, playing his girl, Supreme Kai of Time.
Don't say that on the other unawakened side, man. We were playing Supreme Kai, yeah. Supreme Kai was great. We were playing Gogeta for a bit, and it was too slow, and then Supreme Kai has a bunch of headbutt, which we like.
Hell yeah.
I've done enough profiles on the channel. I think the average kill turn is like turn 3, turn 4, and this is right there, so
Yeah,
I was very happy.
Chris doesn't like going past that turn. That's it.
We
This
don't.
turn
We
3,
really
turn
don't.
4 is perfect.
We absolutely don't. If anyone doesn't know, it has been a little while since it was ever played, if it was played at all. It's only just started getting played a little bit now with dashbacks. Swings and mills 3, and then draws a card. You awaken if you have 8 or more cards on the warp, or if you're at 4 less life.
So turn 2 pretty much every game?
Most games.
Most games?
Most games.
Yep.
Occasionally it didn't, but it was okay when it didn't. It awakens, it has 3 effects, right?
It's ridiculous.
The whole point of the deck is just you're overroaming stuff for free. Once per turn, when you play a card overroam, you draw a card and put 3 cards from your warp back into your drop to make where you overroam more. What is it? You can crit 1 life and put 2 cards from the warp back into the drop to keep your overroams around for the turn. So you're playing big 25k, 30k dudes that don't go anywhere.
Yep.
And then you can tap 1 black, discard 1 card, and play your unison, which is very important, from your drop or warp.
Yep, which is huge.
Which is very relevant. It means that as long as you can flip over, then you've always got your game plan.
Yep.
Which a lot of decks maybe couldn't say when a lot of decks rely on the unison, back in the day at least. This is one deck that can actually just keep on getting it back and never really worry about it, as long as you flip over.
Yep.
Which is very important, which is why we're playing a bunch of these cards.
Which is kind of perfect, really.
So this is the unison in question. Ignore the dodgy SPR. We're playing all this stuff as well. So this thing, I suppose.
So this is kind of your package early game.
This is all essentially self-awakening.
Yep.
You don't take life to self-awaken, but it's essentially what it's doing. Unison is the important part. We're trying to see that every game. Although it isn't as bad as it used to be if you don't see it turn 2. Mm-hmm. We didn't see it until turn 3. We didn't even draw it in the final round. But we had a few other cards, and our Z deck helped there as well, so that we didn't actually feel it. It was actually fine, but most of the time you really need it.
Yeah.
It basically just lets you wormhole. It lets you get wormhole, so you can overrun twice.
Which is huge in this deck.
Yeah. So you're playing 25k, 30k dudes with really powerful effects for free, twice a turn. They don't go anywhere. The uptick just puts cards back into the drop, facilitate your overrun.
Yep.
And the -3 adds. What does it do?
You never do it. You never do it. Add up to 2 battle cards with energy cost of 7 or less, and the overarm skill from your warp to your hand.
There you go.
Irrelevant. Just do a +1. That's all
Pretty
you care
much.
about.
You know what? I think I did one once against Hachia, but it didn't matter. It didn't help me.
Yeah.
And then these cards are the same thing. They self-awaken, so to speak.
Because they put cards in warp. Very cheap.
Yeah. They overrun 2, so you can get them out off this +1.
Yep.
And off the leader skill. Mm-hmm. And then warp 2 cards from your deck to the warp, and replace themselves. They draw a card. And they have keywords. This one's double. This one's crit. So it's self-awaken, and they're good pressure early when your opponent is unawakened.
Definitely.
You need to see you want to see the ideal hand is these, and then some combination of these.
Yes.
To get cards into the warp. Basically. This card is here to search this. That's all it does. You pitch it from hand, you look it up 7, you grab this card.
Yep.
And if you don't see this card, you grab these.
Yep. Perfect.
Just so you don't make a card, but you're trying to grab this. I think some people don't play it. You definitely could play a little bit slower, more reliably. You just awaken turn 3 just naturally without necessarily 100% seeing this every time, but I really wanted to, as consistently as possible, kill people as quickly as possible, and that needs you to see these.
Yeah.
So we play this. Sometimes it whiffs more than I'd like, but it's necessary.
Look, I definitely feel like the unison packages is very, very strong. It facilitates a lot, and there are some gameplay videos as well that have gone up, and you see how much the unison does, and I feel like it puts in the work.
You want to see it early. You want to see it early.
Definitely.
There is a bit of. You want to be careful with it because it is easy to kill. Playing it turn 1 isn't good very much, and then playing it turn 2, there are going to be occasions where it's not correct to play it turn 2. But as long as you have it, you're okay.
Yep.
That's the important part. And then this thing. This thing's just an extra little overarm that gets you cards. It doesn't get you cards on the wall, but gets you cards on the drop, and then you can over them again and get more cards. So
plus it's crit, which is perfect.
And it's crit. It's a relevant stat.
And it's 15, so when you're on the front side, it's pretty much that damage is always hitting.
Yeah, it's really good. That really good early game pressure. This is a very good one. And honestly, the ideal early opener is like these. You play this one first, and you play... No. Yeah, you play this one first. I'm honestly forgetting now. It's wild. I'm tired. But there are lines where you can pass your turn with like extra cards in the drop area without having to use them for your overall.
Yep.
That's right. You play this thing first. You play this thing, and then your unison effect put 2 in the back at the beginning of your turn 3.
Mm-hmm.
So you have extra stuff ready to go.
For
and
your
it's
turn.
easier to get your big overarms out sooner.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's what we want. That's what you always want. There's big overarms going really soon.
You want to get your big overarms out as quickly as possible. Speaking of, essentially this is the early game little overarms to facilitate your game plan, and these are all the good ones. Pretty much.
This is all the stuff you want to hit every game.
These cards are all pretty nuts. Obviously, this card's insane. I think in order these are like best to worst.
Yep.
Fetches you anything back. This is the single best top deck you have in the deck. If you have nothing in your hand, just a full drop, like a drop area or a warp from comboing from whatever, this is the single best card you can get because you could pick up this and then you can play this and then this thing can play itself for 1.
Yep. Which is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous to get one drop pretty much, 25k double strike.
It does a lot. Like this card looping whatever you want, looping itself, getting back whatever overarm you're missing.
Yep.
Is very, very powerful. It gets you into some of the sideboard as well a little bit, which is very helpful. Actually, that's a really good point. Don't forget that. You can sideboard a lot of stuff this thing can pick up.
Yes, definitely.
Which means that you can see more of your sideboard than a lot of decks might.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very powerful. This card's crazy. This card is sort of like a replacement thwarting, I always feel like.
Yep.
Because it's a 1 cost 25k double with... It doesn't warp a card, it's not that crazy, but it does draw, which is still really good.
Mm-hmm.
But it's almost better because you can play it from the warp. You can play it for free, I should say. So it is an overarm for the leader because you want a lot of overarms, which is just free. But the play it for 1 can be done from the warp as well. If you need to have a Trunks in play.
Yep.
But you can sort of play it for free or play it for 1, whatever you need. In that given moment, very, very powerful, and you can play it on your turn too.
Yes.
Which they haven't been doing a lot of. I feel like a lot of cards they've been printing, a lot of powerful aggro cards require you to be on
3 energy.
3 energy. I'm thinking like Omega Sin.
All
it's
of
a 2 cost,
three,
you need to be on 3. I can do this thing when my opponent's on 1 energy. Maybe they tapped out.
Yep.
And then it's just a big 25k double they can't stop. Amazing card. This thing is sort of replacement fighting against fates. Still banned. 19k dual attack, it combos from the warp, so it goes to 24. It gets you Z energy in a deck where you don't have like a massive hand, you're not going to get Z energy that easily, and it attacks twice. And we have some really powerful Z deck cards that we'll get into, but this is really good. These are both dashback cards, and one of the like 3 or 4 waves of good black cards that they've printed in the last few months that have just made Supreme Car all of a sudden really, really, really good.
Definitely.
Of which this is the most recent one because they unbanned Secret ID.
I'm glad they did.
I don't really know why. Like, it's not overpowered, but like they probably didn't need.
They didn't need to ban it. They thought the Toa deck was gonna be amazing, and then they banned it. I feel like, but I feel like it should have always have been around.
I'm glad it's back.
Yeah.
I right here is probably the first point to say that I'm playing a 50 card deck clean. I will not go to more than 50 cards.
I respect it.
I need to see my unison desperately, and I do not like games where I do not. This was just one of the small handful of cards that was a 3 of because I just could not
fit
another one in.
Yep.
3
is more than enough.
There's another one on the side, just in case it is in a situation or a matchup where it's extra relevant and one of these is worse. But I'd rather just have these guys, which are always good all the time.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I feel like this dash, there was recent like packs that they released. So are they dash packs I consider? What do they call them? The Goten and the Trunks. They were dash packs? Yeah, I feel like they've just made a massive increase to this deck.
The dashback,
huge difference.
All the dashback cards are crazy, but the Trunks and the Goten are nuts.
Just, absolutely insane.
And that is legitimately, this entire pile of cards is all engine.
Yes.
As far as I'm concerned. You can't play much less of them, I don't feel like. I certainly didn't want to. So that's a lot.
Yeah, it's a decent chunk.
We don't have a lot of space for everything else. But,
decent chunk of engine.
But here is basically the rest, essentially. Just random battle cards. We got super combos, we got this. Super combos are boring. I couldn't decide which one I liked better, so I played 2 of each. This one's like sparking, but for the warp.
Did one come up more often than the other, or not really?
No, I still don't know which I like better, to be honest with you. I'll probably go back to being a lot of Vegetas once we get the champ back Vegetas, because then you play a bunch more Vegetas and Gokus, which means you can put SS3 thwarting back in the list.
Yes, yeah.
But for now, it was just whatever. This card's crazy. This was one of the first cards they printed a few months ago to make
really good.
Really good again.
Yep.
One cost 20k crit that I can play turn 1 if I wanted to.
Perfect.
And it warps 2 cards into the end of the next turn, and then they come back. But if they're hitting Z cards, they just go away permanently. So half the time, this is just killing 2 cards.
Yep.
And secret rares. Really unreasonable card. Very, very good. Very good for the early pressure.
And it's only one if you've overwhelmed, right? So you have to think.
I think it says if you send a card from your drop to your warp,
Yes.
it's overwhelmed.
Yeah, overwhelm.
Really, really strong. This is one of the reasons, as well as the Goten, that not seeing your unison early isn't as bad anymore.
Yep.
Because now instead of paying 1 for a unison and then overwhelming twice to get your pressure in, you can just pay 2, like 1 for this, 1 for the Goten, and an overwhelm.
Yep.
And it's the same amount of pressure, and you can just stick the overwhelm the next turn.
Yep.
Sorry, stick the unison the next turn.
Yeah, which is good.
And this card's wild.
How much is the counter coming up?
Counter comes up, it depends on the matchup.
Yeah.
But it comes up a lot.
Yep.
You're playing a lot of dudes for free, so you do have energy spare if you want to do that. To just do this. It's counter and negate counter. It does like 5 things. I think the deck wants all of them.
Yep.
You're an aggro deck that's playing cards for free, so the counter matters. You can pitch it from hand to look for a Gokus or Vegetas, which isn't hugely relevant right now in this build, but it does fill up your drop area in the small instance that you don't have the right number of cards. You just need to get one in there to get a big overwhelm. And then from the field, it is also an overwhelm. So if you're really down bad,
You can just use
you
it.
can just do that to get cards in the warp early.
Yeah.
And then from the field, you can warp it to draw 2, warp 1. So it does everything. It sets up the warp, it overwhelms, it searches cards, and it's a counter. This is a very, very relevant card.
Very good card.
We got 1 more on the side because the counter is the most relevant part, and you're not really using the counter in every game.
Yep.
But we do want to bring in 1 more if we can.
Certain matchups,
Yeah,
for sure.
in certain matchups.
For sure. Especially against blue with all their floodgates.
Yeah. This negate is free, so I play it.
Yep.
I'm not playing anything that costs me energy to defend myself in the main.
Perfect. And then
And Seeker is broken.
last card.
Absolutely wild. It has like an effect that just isn't on the card, but
Shouldn't
it does
exist, I feel like.
Sorry?
I said this effect is just insane.
Yeah. Tap 2, if your opponent has 3 or more energy.
3 or more energy.
3 or more energy, sorry.
Yep.
Warp a card ignoring barrier before playing the card. So if I'm right, I could just be wrong. I don't remember. I believe that you dodge like the Trunks block arrest effect. I assume that's how that works, because you're warping the card as part of the effect before like it all finishes resolving.
As part of the cost, potentially. Yeah.
I didn't actually come up, but I think that's how it works.
Yeah.
And if it does, that's just extra.
Yeah.
But then it burns a life if they're at 2 or more, and then steals one of their cards. And then when they play a card 7 or less, you get to warp one of yours and steal it.
Yeah.
All that stuff is nuts.
Yeah, and the card pretty much reads double strike when you're at 2 life, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But the very relevant part that isn't on the card is just the card that you steal, you get the effects.
Yes.
So you're playing an aggro deck during your turn.
Yes.
To clarify, during your turn. It doesn't work that way during opponent's turn, but that works perfectly for an aggro deck. You play this, your opponent tries to floodgate you, you take the floodgate, they don't get the floodgate you anymore.
Yeah, perfect.
Card's absolutely wild. We play from the hand or warp, so we're going to see it one way or another in most games. We'll do Z-Deck, I guess, real quick.
Yep.
Z-Deck
Should
is
be
very
pretty
boring.
simple, yeah.
These are dashback cards.
Yep.
They are both the same card in a lot of ways. They're both just 1 cost, kill something, kill anything.
Yep.
And then beaters. This card's 25, this card's 15. But this thing lets you rejuvenate a life and you crit a life off your land.
Yeah.
That's it. They are some of the best Z cards I think in the game because they are a lot weaker than some of the Battle for Better ones, but they are 1 energy.
For sure.
1 energy beaters with removal.
Yep.
So often your opponent plays a blocker late into their turn on a kill turn, and you just hold the energy, so you go, cool, play a 1 cost,
kill it.
warp it, swing.
Yeah.
Maybe they do it again and you do it again.
Yep.
Surmounting, come
Yep.
up exactly once. But it was relevant.
I'm gonna say you don't really need it that much, yeah.
Again, this is one of the cards that really helps if you don't see a unison.
Yep.
Back in the day, however many sets ago the leader first came out, you didn't see the unison, you were just dead in the water. Now you have a realistic, viable way, consistent way I should say, to get to full life, so you can just flip over and then play the unison from the wall and just keep playing your turn like normal.
For sure.
And we were playing this because I didn't want to play a thick copy of this.
Yep, fair enough.
It doesn't matter.
Fair enough.
This card is
I don't think I've ever seen that card be played.
yeah,
Ever.
yeah, it's not good.
Alright, side deck.
Don't do it. We'll show the side deck that mattered. Everything else I didn't play. It's like these. Legitimately these.
Alright. So 2 Coits,
2 Coits.
2 Super Kamehameha,
2 Superman,
and
3 of
3
these.
the Bardock.
Maybe. Yeah, look, everything else is kind of bad. Coits is for Gamma.
Yep.
Really good against Gamma. They play a lot of dirt.
Even 21 as well. Right.
It's not as good against. Oh, it's fine against 21. No, you're right. It's good against 21.
And good against yellow. All the ripostas and stuff like that. Their Vegeta they've got now.
We don't bring this in. Again, it's a 50 card list and half the deck is engine, so we don't have a lot of space to side cards in.
Yep.
And against yellow, this and this were better.
Yep, that's fair.
This saved me games against yellow. It will continue to save me games because you can't rely on counters to stop yellow from killing you.
Yes.
Because they'll counter you, or they'll just push through it.
Yep.
But if you can say one attack, it's fine. Honestly, this card can go away. These cards.
Yeah. They're the best.
These are the best ones.
Yep.
You counter opponent's side gates, and you say that they can't kill you. Anyone who hasn't seen this recently, and hasn't been played a lot, I guess, especially recently, it's a black it's an overrun for 1, and when it's played for the next turn, your opponent can't attack with more than 1 battle card.
Yep, which is perfect.
More than 1 time with battle cards.
Yes.
You can't play it again the next turn, but we're not playing that many turns. Really, really powerful.
Definitely.
Very, very relevant to bring in against aggro decks or against yellow, where they really threaten to just kill you with back very, very easily.
Yes. What other Jang we got on the side?
Nothing that I care about. Kuitsuka, whenever it's going. In theory, it's good.
Yep.
Supreme Kai is oddly enough 121.
Yep.
In theory, if they go for the big 8 cost and they swing into this, you counter. It goes away. They don't get to restand 5, and they just tap that and you kill them.
Perfect.
It didn't come up. I don't think I played against 21.
Nope. Alright.
Credit to the people for aggro. I don't think I brought it in. 2 smoke that I would never play because it's tapping to energy to do nothing.
It's too much.
Yep.
1 extra counter, 1 extra.
An extra this, an extra this. Just the games where it matters.
Perfect.
But this is the best one.
Yep.
To be clear, this card is nuts. We love this card to pieces.
Love it. Alright, cool. There we go, Chris. Before we get going, any shout outs, my friend?
Yes. Shout out to Team Car Titan and Beyond. Great store.
Yeah, awesome. There we go, guys. So there's Chris's 3rd place deck from the regionals over the weekend. Hope you guys enjoyed the profile. If you did, please remember to subscribe, hit that bell to stay notified, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.